Life is hard for every single individual on this planet. No matter if you're the top elite 1% or the bottom of the barrel, don't know when you're going to have your next meal. Everyone on every level has their own challenges they are facing, which comes with trauma. Whether currently or 20 to 50 to 100 years ago, everyone, no matter what you think, has experienced and is experiencing trauma as we speak. Why? That is a great question. Why does trauma exist? Why are there negative experiences? Why isn't life blissful and euphoric 24/7? Without darkness, what would be light? How we choose to see a traumatic experience dictates the level of traumatic one could consume that information to be. Why would an individual choose to see a traumatic experience in a positive way? Because whether we like it or not, what's traumatic to me may not be traumatic to you. So what does that mean? That means trauma oftentimes is found in the mind. We often get so wrapped around what we can't control that we lose sight of what we can control. No, we necessarily can't change or alter or prevent certain circumstances from taking place in our life. However, looking at these experiences from a different perspective gives us the power that we rightfully have. Choosing to see traumatic experiences in a positive light allows the creativeness in your brain to come up with a fascinating, bright idea of why this event took place. Is there an underlying lesson that I need to learn? Was this event here to stop me from doing this again? Was this circumstance taking place in my life to build characteristics that I would not have built otherwise, right? But why shall I have to look at a traumatic experience in a positive way? Because whether we like it or not, we are all always going to experience trauma. We're all always going to experience negative, bad lows. So dwelling on those lows does nothing but make the situation worse for yourself, for that experience and the rest of your life. No, you don't necessarily have to go out of your way to forgive and forget and go do extensive research of why a specific event took place, or really dwell in the fascination of the best possible outcome within negative experiences and traumatic experiences. However, allowing one event, allowing a handful of events, allowing a year, 2, 5 years of your life dictate the rest of your life doesn't do anyone any good, doesn't do harm to anyone else but you. Not forgiving, not forgetting, not trying to find a lesson only makes a bad situation worse. So let me ask you the question, why wouldn't we want to look at these circumstances in a positive way? Why wouldn't we want to think that we are building characteristics through going through experiences that we necessarily wouldn't have to go through. You could have went through an experience unlike anything else just to tell your story and to find out a whole entire community is out there scared and worried and needed you to go through it to be able to be the voice for them. The extent of why we go through what we go through is limitless, and no human will ever be able to understand everything. There are multiple ways to get to the point of not allowing any experience, any voice, any circumstance trip you up to the point where you stay down. Yes, we will trip, we will fall, we will bruise, we will bleed, but if we do not make the conscious decision to heal ourselves and to get up, we will die there. People love us enough until it's beyond themselves. People cannot pick us up more than they are picking themselves up. People have their own lives, their own stories they're curating, and they will not be able to pour in to any individual more than they're pouring into themselves. It is always up to us as an individual to take our traumas, take our negative experiences, and first acknowledge them. Don't push them under the rug as if it never happened. Don't try to avoid any certain area. Don't try to avoid a certain sport, a certain whatever is connected to the traumatic experience, trying to avoid confronting yourself. We want to make sure that after confronting it, we try, if even not to look at it in a positive way, to not look at it in a negative way. Why do we want to not look at it in a negative way? Because that takes the experience from happening to you today, from happening to you every single day. You are now consciously reliving that experience until you heal yourself. Is it easy? No, it is not easy. Is it worth it? Yes. Going to the gym and tearing muscles to get stronger is not easy, but do you become stronger? Yes. When trauma is not healed, trauma trickles down in the family line. If we don't heal ourselves, our next generation is going to have to deal with our problems, which already are going to have their own traumatic experiences. So now that's going to go down even further and further and further into the family line. So even if you don't want to do it for yourself, think about future generations. How do we get to this point of abundant tranquility? How do we get to the point of looking at everything in a positive way as best as we can? It is hard for us to see anything in a positive lens if we aren't doing things that genuinely make us happy. If we are in a happy and an abundant state naturally from doing things we love, we have much more higher likelihood of seeing things better, seeing things brighter, because we are already in a jubilant state of life. So, taking that time out for yourself, to take yourself out on a date, to go swimming, to meet up with friends that you've been wanting to meet up for a while now, but have had so many excuses that aren't excuses to pop up. Whatever it may be to make yourself happy will be the start of being able to see things with a brighter view. Also, another way to be able to experience seeing positivity through circumstances is allowing yourself to journal, allowing yourself to meditate, allowing yourself to disconnect from the voice in your head. We have a fear response that is meant to keep us safe. However, now we live in safe communities with safe boxes we call homes. So where does that fear that was supposed to keep us alive go? It goes into overthinking situations. It's going into replaying certain events over and over. It's going to becoming attached with that voice and detached from reality. So this allows trauma to be relived and relived and relived. So as we meditate and as we journal, as we become more into our body again and out of our head, we realize that the voice, the thoughts that are in our head are clouds. They are nothing more than an idea that popped up easily and can go just as easily if we allow it. Yes, we often get caught in stopping a thought or going through so many thoughts so rapidly we don't even realize what we just thought. Taking time to slow down and realize what we are thinking, starting to realize why we are thinking what we are thinking, starting to realize that we don't have to act on the thoughts we are thinking. We start to allow ourselves to choose consciously what we want to think and how we want to move forward in certain circumstances. And this leads directly to healing your trauma. Once we start to get to the point of control again, because we have control, we just lost it in the abundance of amount of reasons to be inside of our head. Once we regain control yet again over our lives, no certain circumstance, no certain individual can take us off our path. We are going to have a challenging life whether we like it or not. So allowing ourselves to be mentally prepared to face these challenges and not allow traumatic experiences become traumatic experiences, we now can continue to move on in life knowing and prepared for what may be to come. So I honestly would love to go further and further and further into this topic. However, I'm not quite certain what specifics you would like me to touch on further, and I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to wrap it up here. However, if you appreciated the information I have provided thus far, definitely let me know in the comments below so I know what topics to continue upon. Also, any questions you may have, please leave them down below. I will comment the information that I possess, that I've learned from my experience of life and gaining the knowledge for myself, because I'm human as well. I deal with these same emotions. I still have to face my traumas, and as much as the voice inside of my head tells me every negative reason to look at this experience in a negative way, I do my best to look at it in a positive way, because why wouldn't I want to look at it in a positive way? And if I feel there's enough questions on a specific topic within this genre, I'm going to make a separate video for it. And I'm going to continue to help in any way I can to allow a safe and mentally healed community be available for everyone who needs it. Thank you so much for putting yourself in a predicament where you are acknowledging that there's work to be done and you are taking steps necessary just by listening to advice doing so. Thank you so much for spending your time here with me today, and enjoy the rest of your day.